Hey guys, this is Eric O from Recreated.com. This time around we're going to go over Photoshop and we're going to give you a crash course in the essentials of Photoshop. So we're not going to go over the detailed what things are called and all that rest of the junk that you might not even want to know. But overall, let's say you have a project that's due tomorrow, due next week, and you just need to know the basics of Photoshop. That's what we're going to go over today. So let's get started. So here in Photoshop, I've got CS6. Even if you don't own it, you can always go to adobe.com and download a free version of Photoshop or any of the Adobe software. It's a 30-day trial, so go ahead if you haven't downloaded it yet. All right, in Photoshop, what we're going to do is, let's say you got a project and you have to join two different images. So obviously what you would normally do, you'd go into Google to find an image. So right now, I'm looking up logos. So let's say we have this Wendy's logo. I see the image, and I can literally just go in here, copy image, go back in here, and you want to start a file. So I'm going to Photoshop, in here, File, New. Because I copied it, it is going to make the clipboard size. So whatever that size of that Wendy's picture was, that's the size that we're looking at right now. But of course, if you need to make a certain type of size, you could always put it in there manually, the certain inches that you need the paper to be or whatever. So let's just go with US paper, and that's a regular 8.5 by 11. So we'll open that up. So now you see it's a blank sheet. You're starting off, and the best way I like to describe Photoshop for people that have never used it before, it's almost like as if you're making a poster. So there's a bunch of layers here, and this is where you're going to see it on the right side. Now what I'm going to do is that Wendy's logo that I put, we're going to put paste, and you'll see the Wendy's logo come up. So what's good about that is it was a simple copy paste that I grabbed from the internet onto my Photoshop, and you'll see once I hit paste, it created a new layer. So what that means is that just like a poster, I can move it around and the poster itself stays put. So let's say I have the Wendy's logo, and let's say now I want an empty cup. We're going to put this on a cup. Photoshop, let's go back into Safari, the internet, and Google white cup. All right, great. Let's see. We'll take this one because it looks more like a Wendy's cup. Same thing, we could go ahead and copy image, go back in here. You definitely see how this is blue. That means it's basically it's selected. You don't want to have it selected whenever you're doing any copying, pasting, because it might take over what you're doing right now. So you could click anywhere outside of that. You see it goes away, as well as these are the certain tools that you can do and use for a bunch of other stuff, and you can check out other tutorials that I'll produce that describes Photoshop in more detail. But right now, the main tool right now we're looking at is the pointer that controls and moves things around. And so we copied this cup that we're looking at here, and we're going to paste right here. Same thing, we're going to edit and hit paste. You can always do Command V, so we'll go ahead and do that right now. Command V, and all right. What's going on? There's a problem here. The cup is way too small. So to make that big, you see there's these little squares around the picture. Like I said, overall this is a crash course, so we're not going to go into detail about making things look 100% accurate or any of that stuff. We just want to get the project done. So right here, you see there's this corners. I can actually make this bigger, stretch it out, but if you want to keep the ratio properly and make it look like a cup, you want to hold down Shift, which makes the size appropriate. So right now, I'm going to blow this guy up and hit Enter. So for any expert Photoshop users, they will tell you that's a big no-no, because when we're blowing up a picture like this, it's always best to get the biggest picture with the best resolution on it, so it doesn't mess up the image, or when you print it out, it doesn't come out blurry or any of that stuff. And that's true for any picture. But for this project, we're just going to go with it, and it's fine. But like I said, later on, if you want to go in more detail and really get this defined, you want to get really good quality picture so it doesn't mess up when you're printing or anything like that. Alright, so I blew it up, now it's huge, and like I said, just like the poster idea, now I have got this image over the Wendy's logo, so that's why you can't see it. Now we're going to select this Wendy's logo that's underneath it, and you can just simply click and drag and it brings it right over. So perfect. So when we're here, let's say we just want to paste it on here, and so far it's coming across, but we want to change it up. It doesn't look like the same white that we're trying to receive here. So if I double click it, if I double click the whatever layer that you're looking for, if I double click it, it'll give you a couple different layer style settings that you can play around with. Right now what we're going to do is go into the blend mode, and I would like to choose multiply. So if you choose multiply, that's one of the blend modes that offers that Photoshop offers you, and it basically, what it's going to do, it's going to blend with the background layer. So there's tons of different blend modes here. You can do overlay, you can do soft white, but when you're trying to take the white out, it's sometimes it works, multiply. There's other tools that you might need to go into later on in depth to learn it, and like I said, check out other tutorials, but right now you'll see that I hit multiply, and now, wow, it looks like it is part of the cut. So overall, guys, this was just a crash course on Photoshop. Of course, when you want to save this guy, you'll go into File, Save As. You want to hit Save As because it'll save as a Photoshop file. Go to Desktop. And you don't want that. You don't want to save it as a Photoshop file if you're going to share it, if you're going to put it in an email or something like that, because whoever is going to open it, they're not going to be able to open it unless they have Photoshop. So what you're going to do here, you're going to hit Format. You could do JPEG, PNG, whatever you prefer. So let's say I'm going to save it as JPEG. Save it whatever you want as well. You do want to save it as a Photoshop if you're planning on coming back into Photoshop and continuing this project. So overall, guys, thank you for watching this tutorial of the crash course on Photoshop, and hope to see you guys soon. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe on this video. It'll help bring up more views and encourage me to make more tutorials. Alright, thanks guys.